Welcome to another story made by Oracle One. The grand chandelier cast a shimmering glow across the ornate ballroom, its light flickering softly over the polished marble floors and the elegant floral arrangements that stood like delicate sentinels along the walls. Guests, dressed in their finest, murmured softly behind their hands, glancing at the figure standing frozen at the end of the aisle. Emma's hands trembled at her sides as she stared at the empty space beside the officiant, her stomach twisting into knots. The vows she had rehearsed 1,000 times in her mind fell silent. The man she was to marry, her fiancé, had vanished into thin air, leaving her alone in a sea of expectant eyes. The murmurs swelled into whispers and the first tentative coughs of discomfort. Emma's chest tightened, a storm of emotions raging within: betrayal, confusion, heartbreak. She could barely breathe as tears pricked the corners of her eyes, her white wedding gown feeling heavier than ever, as though it were laced with the weight of shattered dreams. The music, intended to be joyful and celebratory, instead seemed to mock her misery with its cheerful cadence. Her best friend, Sophie, hurried to her side, placing a gentle hand on her arm. "It's going to be okay," she whispered, but the masked smile on her face did little to soothe Emma's raw heart. Emma wanted to scream, cry, flee, anything but stand there as a spectacle of abandonment. The bridal party slowly gathered around, their expressions a mix of sympathy and embarrassment. The groom's absence was the undeniable elephant in the room. The wedding planner's trembling voice broke the silence, explaining that he had fled just minutes before the ceremony, for reasons unknown. But explanations were hollow when the pain was this immediate. As guests retreated to the reception area, the atmosphere shifted from celebratory to suffocatingly awkward. Emma followed them mechanically, her mind a kaleidoscope of spinning thoughts. How could the man she had trusted with her heart simply disappear? Was their love ever real? The room was filled with soft music, the hum of polite conversation, but Emma felt like a ghost drifting through the scene. The reception hall was a stunning room bathed in golden light, with tables of flowers and candles arranged meticulously. The guests began to fill the space, trying to salvage the celebration. Emma sat at the head table, her eyes unfocused, everything feeling muted and distant. People offered their condolences, but the words sounded like background noise in her mind. Just as she was about to retire to her hotel room early, the room's dull murmur was pierced by a soft, steady voice. "May I have this dance?" Emma looked up, surprised to see a man standing before her. He was strikingly handsome in a way that didn't feel rehearsed. His blue eyes held a genuine warmth and unspoken kindness. His dark hair was tousled, and there was a slight stubble on his jaw that gave him an air of rugged charm. He wore a simple black suit, not the usual tuxedo but something more understated, as if he had arrived from out of nowhere. Emma blinked, unsure she had heard correctly. "A dance?" she asked, her voice cracking. He nodded, a small, sincere smile playing at his lips. "Just one. I promise nothing more if you don't want it." Something about the earnestness in his tone caused her shoulders to relax, if only slightly. Maybe it was the loneliness that had wrapped itself so tightly around her heart, or the sheer kindness radiating from this stranger. But she found herself standing, brushing the soft fabric of her dress, and allowing him to take her hand and lead her toward the dance floor. The orchestra had started a slow waltz, the rippling melody wrapping around them as they moved together. Emma's heart, so raw and exposed moments before, found a tentative beat in response to the sensation of his steady hands and gentle guidance. The ballroom faded, it was just the two of them moving in harmony. "So, what's a man like you doing at a wedding with no groom?" Emma's voice was soft but tinged with humor, a subtle shield for her vulnerability. He chuckled quietly, sweeping her hair from her face. "Trying to catch a falling star, perhaps." Or maybe just a dance with a beautiful woman who deserves better than half a wedding. Emma's breath hitched at his words, their sincerity cutting through the swirling storm inside her. "You're kind. Only when it matters," he replied with a wink. The dance continued, each step a reassurance that she was still worthy of happiness. Before long, the space around them seemed to exhale, and Emma felt something she thought had been lost, a fragile thread of hope woven anew. When the music ended, neither moved to separate immediately. Emma found herself searching his eyes between heartbeats. "Who are you?" she asked quietly. "Eric," he answered, offering his hand again. "I'm just someone who believes that sometimes, the best beginnings come from the most unexpected moments." That night, as the reception wound down, Emma and Eric sat side by side on an outdoor terrace overlooking the city lights, their conversation flowing as freely as the cool night air. He told her about his life as a photographer, someone who found beauty in the smallest moments, while she shared her dreams, once tied to a different man, now looking a little more uncertain but no less hopeful. Eric's calm presence was a balm to her fractured heart. His laughter was genuine, his touch respectful yet comforting. For the first time in hours, Emma believed that life could hold another chance, a new story waiting to be written. Over the following weeks, Emma and Eric's connection deepened. What started as a dance turned into coffee dates, long walks along the bay, and letters filled with shared dreams and quiet confessions. Emma found herself smiling without effort, the heaviness demanding less presence each day. Yet, she was cautious. How could she trust again when her heart had been so recklessly broken? One evening, as the sun dipped behind the horizon, painting the sky with shades of rose and gold, Eric took her hand in his. "Emma," he said softly, "I don't want to replace your past, but I want to be part of your future. However slow or fast you move, I'll be here." Tears glistened in Emma's eyes as she squeezed his hand. One dance changed everything, didn't it? "Sometimes, one dance is all it takes to find a new beginning," Eric replied, pulling her gently into an embrace. Together, they faced the uncertain future not as two wounded souls clinging to what was lost, but as partners ready to explore the beauty still waiting to be discovered. That night, Emma understood that the cruel opening to her wedding day had led her not to an ending, but to a remarkable new beginning, with a stranger who had become her unexpected love. For more stories, like and subscribe.